potential benefits of cannabinoids. So it was out of necessity about 6 years ago that I got exposed to cannabis. In fact, it's interesting how stigmatized we were. I'm in New York City right now at the World Cannabis Business Congress, and I went to pre-med at Columbia University here in New York, and I roomed with 5 other guys. 3 of them smoked pot. I was allergic to the smoke, so I would leave. But one of the smartest guys that I knew in pre-med, named Bruce, he smoked every day and he flunked out of medical school, and it stigmatized me. But I realized that alcohol does not make alcoholics, and pot or marijuana does not make you a pothead. It's how you're wired and how you perceive it and how you use things. But make a long story short, about 6 years ago, I was exposed to a young man in San Antonio, Texas, 22 years old, who had had a head injury when he was 15 in a truck accident on the farm. His head was crushed. He had 5 brain operations, had intractable seizures, to the point where he had to drop out of college, was becoming very depressed, and he'd been to every epilepsy center in Texas, told there was nothing we could do, and they were going to move to Colorado to get cannabis. I knew his mother because she was a pharmaceutical rep, and she found out about my delivery of neuroactive drugs, in which it's put in a cream and applied to the back of the neck and goes right to the brain, with it bypassing the blood flow. And she asked me to consider using CBD, which is the non-psychogenic component of cannabis, and also from hemp. You don't get high from CBD. THC is the product that gives you high. And she asked me to incorporate CBD into my direct effects delivery. My first response was no, I don't know anything about cannabinoids. I don't want to get in trouble with the DEA, lose my license. But the more she talked to me, and she wrote me this heart-wrenching letter, which my wife also read, and I felt like I had no choice. So I had Alan come and see me in Sarasota, Florida for several days. Make a long story short, he's been seizure-free 3.5 years, graduated from college, got a standing ovation at commencement, and now is doing well. It opened my eyes to the prospects of cannabinoid medicine, and I became one of the top 2 doctors in Florida to be licensed and certified by the Department of Health Compassionate Registry. I was first physician in Sarasota County to be certified, and now I see patients who want to be registered to treat their conditions with medical cannabis every day, and it totally changed my perspective. And I feel my role is to educate my fellow physicians on the potential benefits, because there are patients out there, especially in the neurological practice, who are desperate, and pharmaceutical compounds are not meeting their needs. So I think the key thing is education, and I feel privileged to be a part of this business expo and a compound that has been around for 6,000 years and was in America from 1850 to 1937 and marketed by Big Pharma. In fact, Eli Lilly and Park Davis, which is now Pfizer, they joint partnered and bought a farm in Greenfield, Indiana, and grew cannabis americana, because before it was cannabis indica from India. So you ask yourself, what happened? Well, 1937, Marijuana Tax Act, in 1941, it was taken off all pharmacopoeia, and we have basically lost for the past 50 years or so the science of medicine of cannabis. But now it's made a resurgence because people are desperate. And I thank people like Sanjay Gupta from CNN, who Weed 1 and 2 and 3, he opened my eyes to the prospect there's a possibility here. And now I think it's a grassroots movement which is unstoppable. Big Pharma is going to get on board. I'm proud to be in Florida, where initially the laws were somewhat restrictive. Now it's up to me and my patients to determine where they have a debilitating condition. So I think this is a positive thing, and we just need to educate more people, both doctors, patients, as well as lawmakers, so that the right things can be done.
I like what you just said, the last piece, and I love the inspiring story. But back to that last piece, educating lawmakers. A lot of us actually, we have the notion, these are the guys that help us, that make it, they're smarter than us, but we can never think like that. And how do you feel about this education? How can we, what's one step? What do you think?
Well, put it this way. We as human beings all have self-interest, right? And yes, we elect officials to represent us, but they're human beings with self-interest. There's lobbying. There's all those kind of things. So we can't make somebody do something. All we need to do is expose to them the right things to do, give them the information. It's our own personal choice to do the right thing or the wrong thing. But in my experience, when I'm proposed a thing to do, which is the right thing, and I don't do it, it turns out it hurts others and it hurts me. So I think what we need to do is just be open and not let our self-interest get in the way of what the right thing to do for others is.
I love that, man. I want to thank you for your time, and I feel honored to have a Floridian with me here, and with me as a media person in Florida. I'm trying to trailblaze, and you know, the fears the doctors had. Me as a media person, I had this stigma, man, if I put this stuff up, maybe they'll come knocking on my door thinking I have pounds of weed. But ever since, they've supported me. The sheriff in my town even said, "Devin, good job, keep going." And this is and I like the fact that we're helping. It's not just about, like you said, come on, we want to make money, but helping someone, and you sitting here, you don't, that's not something you believed in, and to have that type of a testimony, it makes me more proud to be.
I've learned in life that when you do the right thing, things come back around that you benefit from. Not only that, I thank people like you in media who are spreading the word, because I don't have the time to, do this. And it's getting the word out. Perception is very important, and education with perception is very important. I feel
Education
privileged.
before recreation.
There you go. I feel privileged to be in this position with a compound with 6,000 years history, to be able to educate other fellow physicians about it, and also to introduce my drug delivery system, which has 8 patents to deliver cannabinoids in a non-systemic way without systemic side effects, particularly in kids, because kids need it, but their parents are afraid of the systemic effects in developing brains. So this bypasses all that. So I feel privileged to be functioning and living at a time like this.
If anyone wants to find you on any social media handle or website, how can they do that?
Let me give you my personal practice website. It's AUNGDINMD.com, and my company is AfginPharma.com, AFGINPHARMA.com, and I'm in Sarasota, Florida. My address is 3501 Cattleman Road, Suite A is in Apple, Sarasota, Florida 34232. My telephone number is 941-342-9445. Thank you very much.
And we don't have a Facebook or Instagram?
I don't have time for social media.
All right.
Somebody else does it for me.
No problem, man. Thank you for your time. You've been amazing, and I look forward to seeing more of the magical stuff you're doing, man.
Great. Thank you for having me.